All right, we've moved on to connective tissues, and we are actually going to go over these 3 at a time. So we're going to go over areolar, adipose, and reticular connective tissues first. Areolar, the way I remember this one, again, just like with the rest of them, right? We start off with the 4x lens, otherwise known as the scanning, the 10x lens, otherwise known as the low power, and the 40x lens is the high power dry. So as we get closer, this is one of those few tissues where the only thing you are going to see on the slide itself is the areolar connective tissue. And what this reminds me of, for any of you who are Texas natives, right? You know, in the fall, late fall, when we start getting all those nice blackbirds on the telephone lines, that's what this reminds me of, is telephone lines with blackbirds sitting on them everywhere. And since blackbirds spend most of their time in the air, this is areolar connective tissue. Notice it's very thin lines, very small fibroblast nuclei, and that's pretty much all there is to this one. You actually also have mast cells, which I don't think this one's actually died for mast cells. But there are other things in these tissues. So that's areolar. Adipose. Adipose is just another name for fat tissue, okay? So this is adipose connective tissue, and it actually reminds me of oil droplets on top of water, okay? That's all of these. And if you look close, this is actually right underneath our epithelial tissue, our keratinized and non-keratinized stratified squamous, right? And you'll see these just little pockets of fat cells, and as you get closer, you'll see the actual individual fat cells. But these cells look empty to me, and we all know that cells all have a nuclei unless they are dead. What's happened is our nucleuses, right, our cells themselves, the nucleus of our cells is a water base. And what happens with water and oil? It pushes apart, right? So what you'll actually see, we'll come down here and look down here, is these little sections right here between the cells where all of their nuclei have kind of grouped together and pushed away from their oily center, their fat center. So nuclei, probably more than one, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nuclei. Nuclei over here, you'll see them where they all kind of group together near the walls of their cell membranes, all together. So this is adipose connective tissue. And then we have reticular tissue. Reticular tissue isn't the whole thing, right? What we're looking for are these reticular fibers that hold the reticular tissue together, okay? All of these are reticular fibers. You'll see through there, right? This right here and this right here, these are both actually blood vessels. Because the vascularized tissue. But you'll see all of these nice black reticular tissues that make up this tissue. Notice I haven't said apical or basal layer, right? And that's because when we start talking about connective tissues, they connect to the epithelium, and epithelium has the apical and basal layers because they face the outside of something. These do not.